So we're going to be doing the base point. I've just put on another coat of paint now. It was a bit thin for my liking. You can see what I mean with that one. It's a little bit, still a bit spotty. I haven't done this one yet because I'm just going to play about with where I'm going to put the lights. That will just help bounce the light around. Right, I'll start putting the glass in and we'll see where we are. And you'll see how it goes. And then of course I shall do it all off on camera. You see what, you're not sitting there to see it all. Okay, that's the windows in. It took a little while to do. So, see them there. See them now. So I'm going to let that dry. So, as I said before, I put in the windows in that, and it's taking me hours to figure out what to do with the lights. I just had expanded across these parts and whatnot. Then in the end, I just thought I'll do it how I normally do it. So I just put in one straight bit of plastic there, double-sided lights, one free moving wire up here for a bit of light, and when it's closed up, I should say I'm not putting in these support struts because I don't have a lot of room when they're going in. So there we go. You'll see it there, like that. It's always difficult to close up at this stage because you want to close it up like that, but of course you're going to have to get the wires in there to come down, so they're all partially attached when it's all closed up. Now come the time to try and close it up. So just make sure that the wires are within the model. So I've got to hold this in place now. So I'll come back when it's all dry. So that's what's on now. There's quite a bit of light bleed running down the seam there, which I'll sort out. So as you can see, the light bleed there, and a little bit on the underside, not as much as that, but it's easily sorted out. That's not a problem at all. So now I'm going to connect the saucer section to the main body. So now just to get this in, I'll just check to make sure everything is working. So we'll stop working. So I'm going to let that dry now, probably overnight, before we attach the cells to the main body. So I'm going to attach the new cells. I was going to leave it overnight, but there's going to be a light bleed on this as well by the look of it. So I thought it would be better to attach it now. I know it's off camera at the moment, and just connecting it to the lights. There we go. Hi, so I waited overnight, and that's the nacelles on now. Yeah, so that's all lighting up okay. So you've got light bleed running along there. Little bit along there. So we'll get that done. Right. So I've just cleaned that up a bit. I'll just put in the old glue. So this just pops on. So that'll take about 20 minutes to dry, and then I'll come back on to starting to fill in the gaps for the light blade. So while I wait for that to dry, let's talk about the stand again. I've had a hell of a time with this. If you remember before, I said I was going to do it brass, then silver, then gold, and I just couldn't get it to look right at all. Whether you use a rattle can, whatever, you know, I just couldn't get it right. So last night, I stripped it all back and done it again. And I've decided to use the copper in the end. The finish is not brilliant, to be absolutely honest with you, but you know, it will work. I mean, I did have quite a good finish last time I done it, but when I put the masking tape off, I forgot to seal it because I was in such a bloody rush. I took half the paint off, so that's why I stripped it down. So in order to get paint off, there's a couple of ways to do it. You can either excuse me. Yeah, to get the paint off, there's a couple of ways to do it. You can either get some oven cleaner that's doesn't, that you put in a bag, put the oven cleaner in it, and that will lift up the paint. Or you can do what I did, and I submerged mine in Dettol. Leave it for a good few hours, and then the paint just peels off. You know, sometimes you may have to use a bit of wet and dry sandpaper, which I did on this case because I didn't leave it that long, because I wanted to get it done and dried overnight. So I just took it back down to the plastic and redone it. Yeah, and that's the result. So I will be painting the edges black. I'm not going to use masking tape this time. I'm going to hand paint it. So that'll be interesting. So I hope I don't make a mistake because it's a one-shot deal. So there is a bit of a lip there. I'm going to see if I can lift this off and sand it down and put it back in. Oh yeah, this came out. That's good. So just need to take a little bit off. So I will need a bit of filler along here. So there we go. So there's a little bit, took a little bit more than I would have liked off there. But since I've got to put the filler in that bit anyway, this doesn't really matter. I'll just clamp that down again. There we go. So 10 minutes or so and that'll be dry, and I'll come back to it. Right, so I've just got a bit of sandpaper here, 1000 grey. So it's quite a soft sandpaper. Doesn't take much. All it is a little burr from the melted plastic, just raised up slightly. So it doesn't take a lot to take off. You can drag your knife over it. So now we're going to fill. So I'm just going to take my filler, put little dabs on, and once you've got your little dabs on, what I'll do is just take a towel and smear it in. So that's that bit. I'll flip it over. And we'll do the same again. Now this side will need a little bit more filler. I think what happened there was when I clamped it too tight. Now generally this takes 2 to 3 goes. You put it on, sand it down, put it on, sand it down, and so forth. This will just give me an idea how much more I've got to do. Actually, that's what doing rather well. A little bit up there. Yeah, that's got it. Right, so we'll let that dry, then we'll sand it down, rub it down before we paint it. And we're going to concentrate on the model, so I'm going to hand paint this. So as you can see, just paint is going surprisingly well. Right, so that's that done. Well, I'll put that to side to dry now. Right, that's the filler dry. I'll just lightly sand this down first of all. We'll carry on taking this down. There's a little bit of lip there, nothing too much to deal with. The main part, we're worried about that. I just when I took a little bit off, filled it up, and everything looks fine. So I'll carry on taking that down a bit, then gradually go down the grey. Yeah. So essentially what you're doing is you're starting to buff it up. Bottom done. It's all starting to come alive now. Yeah, that feels really good. When you're doing this, just make sure you're not putting too much pressure on. Well, you don't want to stress the joints of the model. Oh, that's burst open. Well, there you go. You see, this is what I was on about. I have obviously put too much pressure on this, and that's popped open. So, we go back to the start again. Oh, 10 minutes, so that'll be dry. So I'll just leave it there. While that's drying, I forgot I may as well paint these. These are just the little feet or supports for the stand. So again, I mean, I do like painting things on the sprue. It doesn't take much to clean up the contact point from the sprue, and it just helps with handling when you're painting.